First, I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi. All praise is due to the Most High Power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity. This is Brother Zakaria from the Israelite Report podcast and the IsraeliteTimes.com. News and prophecy for the hopeful elect. Lord willing is edifying. A bit of news here. I meant to go over this last week on the last week's podcast. It's coming from the New York Post. It says billionaire bunkers, how the world's wealthiest are paying to escape reality. And I was watching a brother's video this morning, and it reminded me of this article that I pulled up from the New York Post. Brother put up a video showing the underground bunkers, and they had TV screens and pools, swimming pools, and movie theaters and kitchens and everything, right? And it's apparent that these elites have made this deal, even with some of the lower elites to, the low level elites to build these bunkers, because they're getting information that the average person isn't getting, so they know that something is coming, right? So they're preparing for something big, something major to happen. And their attitude is that, this thing is going to go down. It's going to be World War III at some point, or it could be a mass uprising, because when the news come down that the dollar is tanked and that, people are going to lose everything because they got to shut down this system in order to bring up their new system. So it's obvious that this system is on the way out and a new system is coming in, which will lead into the MOTB. Now, I did mention last week about the CBDC and how that's going to lead to the MOTB, which they don't even want you mentioning the mark anymore, which is further proof that we're getting closer to that time, and, it's scary times that we're living in, but at the same time, we have to be willing to go through it because this is how we know our salvation is near, so it's like, what do you want to do? You want to continue with this society and stay in this trap, stay in the grasp of Satan and his wicked society, or do you want this thing to come crashing down so you can get to the point where, you in the kingdom? You got to have a ruling class mentality to even grasp that thought, right? Well, the elites damn sure got a ruling class mentality, and right now they rule over you, and they feel like they are your God, and they have no respect for God, the Most High Power, right? Yahweh and his son Yahawashi, they have no respect for, and they feel like they're the gods on earth. But again, getting back to this article, billionaire bunkers, how the world's wealthiest are paying to escape reality. This is coming from the New York Post. It says, when civilization collapses, J.C. Cole will be ready. I guess this is an elite, probably a billionaire. He says he's founded Safe Haven Farms, a maximum security compound to ride out the next pandemic or climate change disaster. See, that's another thing that they got. They got their weather programs, and they're even talking about censoring people on social media platforms that speak out against this climate change agenda, as they're calling it misinformation, disinformation. and they're going to say that we are a threat. So they got a lot of cards, up their sleeve, and climate change is going to be a big one. It says here in the article from the New York Post, it says, and those who can afford to join him will also have a shot at survival, he promises. But the price tag isn't cheap. It says a $3 million investment, and his startup isn't just about getting admission. Members also get a stake in a potentially profitable network of local farm franchises that could reduce the probability of a catastrophic event in the first place. That's what this person, Douglas Rushoff, in his news book, Survival of the Richest, Escape Fantasies of the Tech Billionaires, W.W. Norton. So these devils are planning an escape route, planning on leaving you high and dry to deal with their disasters, their manufactured disasters, the looting and the rioting and the everything else. Of course, the nuclear war. But that's to come after the MOTB, after the mark is implemented. Okay, and that could happen at any moment. We just don't know because they already have their digital currency. They've been testing that for about close to 10 years now. I forget when Bitcoin came on, but I always knew that was just the lead up to the MOTB. It was the lead up to the mark, to the implantable chip, which we are all keeping an eye on because we are watchmen of the Lord. So we're keeping our eyes out. We're keeping our eyes open for these things. We want the Most High to find us doing on that day. We don't want to be able to. We don't want to be scratching our head or wondering, did we do what we were supposed to do? We're supposed to sound the trumpet, warn the people. Show my people their transgression. That's what we're supposed to do. And I'm doing all I can do. You can't force nobody because this is only for the elect. That's why we say we're the hopeful elect. We don't know who the elect is, but we just push the word and do our part. I made the mistake of trying to talk about the upcoming World War III with my dad, and he got all upset and up in arms. But he's a Christian, so he's a Christian pastor, so that rubbed him the wrong way. And the people don't want to hear that. There's a scripture, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it says, preach unto us smooth things. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you brothers, know exactly where it's at. But yeah, preaching to us smooth things. They don't want to hear the bitter. You got to take the bitter with the sweet. The sweet is, if you have the elect, you're going to be delivered. The bitter is, even if you have the elect, you're going to have tests and trials. And like I said, I made the mistake of even talking about that situation with my dad. I called him and told him about it, and what was kind of what's going on in the news. And throughout their conversation, he got upset and riled up. And I said, yeah. I said, you know what? That's on me. Because Jake don't want to hear that. Jake want to believe that they can believe in sweet Jesus and everything gonna be all right. Especially the older Jakes. And sometimes, I know I'm not the only one. Sometimes you forget and you have those conversations, and then you end up regretting it later. But, I did my part. He got upset over the whole us being the children of Israel thing, that You want to acknowledge it, but don't want to acknowledge it at the same time. But you know, you can only, like I said, you can only go but so far with that. So anyway, get back to this article here, because this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. The elites know what's coming because they planning it, they're orchestrating it, but they don't understand. This is what they don't know. Some that are of a higher elite may know, but most of these elites don't realize that the Lord is in control of this situation. The Lord has tricked them into believing that they can build underground bunkers and they can escape judgment, right? He made them believe that. That's a false report. But they believe that report. All right, so the Lord got them in a trick bag. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Right, so the people that are deceived into believing that these people are the elites and that they are your gods, because there are people that believe that, they're tricked. And then the people that are doing the deceiving and the tricking, they're also tricked too. They're in the trick bag of the Lord. They're tricked even worse than the people that they're tricking, if you understand what I'm saying. It says, back to this article about these underground bunkers. I know I'm all over the place. Says Cole, J.C. Cole, who's 66 years old. There goes that 66 again, right? There they go with that magical number. They love to do this. He had to be the one to talk about it because he's 66 years old. These people are into their witchcraft and their codes and everything. But anyway, he says J.C. Cole, who's 66, has 2 farms in development, one outside Princeton and the second somewhere in the Poconos, which he envisions as a network of secret, totally self-sufficient residential farm communities for millionaires guarded by Navy SEALs armed to the teeth, writes Rushkoff. So these people, they're preparing for something major, aren't they? Right? But listen, here's the thing. Our friends, our family, they call us crazy. We're conspiracy theorists. But yet the elites, if I tell the average Jake about, this thing about to pop off and it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, even with the talks of nuclear war, they still would think you crazy. Because the Lord got them in a trick bag. The deceiver and the deceiver are his. It wasn't given to everyone, right? It was not given to everyone. Everybody's not going to be able to receive it. The Lord got to open up your eyes. Some people believe it or not, some people going to wake up at the last minute. That's why we're sounding the alarm. We're blowing the trumpet. Cry loud, spare not. Show my people their transgressions. Right? Show the people their transgressions. Come back to Yahawashi, get rid of sweet Jesus, and come back to Yahawashi. It's the only way to get delivered, man. And even in that, you got to run unto the end. It wasn't given to the swift nor the strong, but he that endureth to the end. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. All right? So one thing to know is another thing to do the work and do the will of the Lord. You got to sound the trumpet. It says here, the developer who says he's not independently wealthy but did well in real estate won't share the exact locations of either farm. Isn't that something? At least not to outsiders, nor will he pose for photos as his concerns about security and the end of the world rise high. Well, damn. Hey, you got an elite, which I'm guessing he's a billionaire. He could be just a multi-millionaire, but it sounds like a billionaire to me. You got one of these rich elites talking about the end of the world. But why is it when I talk about it, I sound crazy to people? You know why? Because people worship money. People worship money and fame and prestige of this world. They want you to be something in this world before they can respect anything you can say about the world to come. But they don't understand. The scriptures tell you that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it which followed. Man. Man, can't y'all feel this in the air? Can't you feel the time is running out? Man, every day I can feel it, man. There's something vibrating in the air, man. I can feel it. Like never before. And people say, oh, well, they always talking about the end of the world. You've never seen actual Armageddon being pushed in the mainstream media by the president of the United States. You've never seen talk of nuclear war like this on this scale. And things haven't even got popping yet. We haven't even gotten to the next level. These people are openly saying that they're going to crash this dollar and bring in a new system. They're not even being shy about it anymore. But yet you still have people that want to say we're crazy. We're conspiracy theorists. We don't know what we're talking about. Nothing's going to happen. They got that Psalms 49 and 11 spirit, believing that their houses shall continue forever. And you know who believes that the most? Jake. Jake, the 12 tribes. You can't tell them nothing. Esau, they're Edomites that know that this thing about to crash. Believe it or not. You know why? Because they're watching the news. And they're not watching mainstream news. They're watching alternative media. And they know that something's not right. They know that this system is going down. George Carlin once said that this society is circling the drain. And he said that a long time ago. But the average Jake, he don't know nothing. Don't care about nothing either. It says here, back to this article from the New York Post. I'm ranting. I'm sorry, y'all. It says the majority of Americans do not, this is a quote, it says the majority of Americans do not have an insurance policy by their choice, Cole told the Post. If/when the supply chain collapses, talking about a supply chain collapse, these people will not have food. A certain percentage of them will break the law and do whatever possible to get food. Therefore, we want to remain not findable. So now you know why he spent all his money on this bunker, because they know that things are about to go down, and they're about to go down fast. But our hope and our faith is not in no damn underground bunker. Okay? Our hope and our faith is in Yahawashi. And we believe that he will deliver his elect because he promised to do so. Some of us going to get put to death. Some of us are going to get delivered and never see death. But either way, man, if I got to see the guillotine, fine. The hell with my life anyway, man. I done gave it all up. I gave up everything, man. Friends, family, everything. You name it, man. I gave it up. And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I walk down the street and people just looking at me, this guy crazy. Whatever. Because they can feel the spirit, man. They can tell I don't give a damn about none of this shit that they care about, and excuse my language. They can tell I don't care. And that's strange to them. When you come out of this world, man, I'm ranting again, but when you come out of this world, even if you're not walking around screaming, I'm an Israelite, just your presence and the way you walk, and I don't care about what's going on. I live in the D.C. area, so when I'm walking through D.C., I see people going to parties, people getting caught up. They have concerts and stuff like that, and everyone's moving in one direction, and I'm moving in the opposite. And they look at me and go, I don't care, man. I just don't care. Don't care about any of this shit. They don't know. I want this place to end so bad. So I want to apologize for going off on that rant, or not so much a rant, but just I was rambling. But there's just so many things coming to my mind at once. You know how the spirit quickeneth, it's it flows living water, and just so many thoughts be running through your head when you reading these articles in the spirit, because we filter everything through the spirit, right? So a lot of times different thoughts be running through my head at once, man, and I end up rambling. But I do want to get Ezekiel 35:1. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it." And that's what we're doing. That's what we're supposed to be doing, not caring about stupid shit about these women and all this other bullshit, Kanye West and all this other. Who cares, man? It says, Ezekiel 35:1, "Moreover, the word of the Lord," right, "came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir." What is Mount Seir? That's Esau. That's Esau's place. That's Esau's domain, if you will, right? But again, Mount Seir, just like Israel is a people before it's a place. Mount Seir representing Esau, same thing. All right. It says, "Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it." And that's our job, is to prophesy against it. We're supposed to be pushing that vibration out there. All right. It says, "And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate." So these elites can try to run and hide and bury themselves under bunkers all they want to. But the Lord has not forgotten what they've done to the true children of Israel and what he's done to his people. Okay, because Esau's had a perpetual hatred, ever since we were given the birthright, which I'm pretty sure, Esau, these Edomites, they got the records. They know who the real children of Israel are, and they know that we got the birthright, and they don't. They feel some type of way about it, so they have this perpetual hatred, and that's fine. They've done what they were going to do. They were the Most High's whipping tool on the left hand side to punish us for what we've done, as it says in the book of Amos, 3rd chapter. It says, "O nation of Israel," paraphrasing, "you only have I known among all the families of the face of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." Right? So the Most High has only known the nation of Israel. Right? So he used Esau as a whipping stick, punishment, hardcore slavery, Jim Crow, hangings, yoke of iron around our neck. Esau constantly putting his boot on our neck. Every time we get up, we get brought right back down. He will come up very high, and we will come down very low. That happened. But you can see what's happening now. We're starting to come up. We're starting to rise up a little bit, But this ain't our kingdom still. Don't get it twisted. It looked like Jake is doing good, but he ain't doing that good. He still got to sell out to Esau's system. And ultimately, in order for them to buy or sell, they're going to have to get chipped up. And, that's going to be a major test, the hour of temptation. But we got to endure hardness as a good soldier for Yahawashi. That's why we got to forsake. This is why the words of Yahawashi, when he was saying, if you won't, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, you got to be willing to give up your friends, your family, your everything. We are not of this world. Love not the world, neither the things that are of the world. Any man loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in him, right? So like for example, what I was saying about my dad getting all upset about me talking about us being the children of Israel and World War III coming, which I slipped up and made that mistake. It was a boneheaded mistake because he's a pastor. He's a Christian pastor. Of course he's going to get pissed off. He think he's Geno Jennings, right? But, hey, I'm not about to give up this word and give up this knowledge and give up this truth and give up Yahawashi. I made it this far just because my dad got upset, just because my woman got upset, just because my friends no longer talk to me, just because the world look at me and laugh and point the finger and scoff. The hell with this world, man. You know what I really want to say? I really want to say F this world. Tupac had a song called F the World. Well, he said that and I really mean it. Okay. That's the spirit we need to be in. Sorry, I ran it again. Sorry about that. Salakia. It says here, Ezekiel 35, it says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi. I'll say it like that. Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. That's what's coming. This place is about to be desolate. All right, it says in 1 hour. Be cast down in 1 hour. It said, thus with violence. Yo, the scriptures is raw. When you get into the scriptures is raw. The scriptures is raw. And I don't mean to laugh, but it's raw, man. Thus with violence. It says in 1 hour. All this will become to naught in 1 hour. The Most High gonna do damage in 1 hour. All you think about all the Esau's invested and put in, and all the misinformation, disinformation, the propaganda, all the hard work he put into. The scriptures say in 1 hour, it'll all be brought to naught. He gonna cast all this down, thus with violence. Man, no wonder these elites are trying to get underground bunkers, and they so obsessed with outer space and building up space programs and Space Force and SpaceX, and because they know the scriptures better than the average person do. So they have the record, so they know who the real children of Israel is, and they know that this is about that time. Plus, you have the so-called UFOs, which I believe are the chariots, but you may have some Project Bluebeam stuff going on too, right? But you have a lot going on right now, man. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because that's what the Lord does. The Lord builds up these kingdoms just to bring them down. Man, the Lord is... all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi. The Lord is raw, man. You know? He lets you build it up just so he can tear it down. You know? That's how raw the Lord is, man. And you don't want to piss off a God like that, man. You know? These aren't nice words. Desolate is not a good thing. It's not a good state to be in. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Basically, he's about to pimp slap the shit out of Esau. Like, all right, look, I let you run around and play like you was on top. Now, get your ass up out of here. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Man, and you can keep on going, man. You can keep on going. This Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, is the Lord basically just giving out marching orders, and that's a chapter there that the wacky tacky Christian church and all these sweet Jesus pastors, they would avoid that. They would avoid Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, because there ain't nothing nice, ain't nothing sweet about it. Lord is promising death and destruction, man. That's all. There ain't no escaping it. There ain't no way around it. There ain't no way to try to, sprinkle some sugar on it to make it sound good. No. The Lord is letting these wicked elites and those underneath them know what you got coming is pending death, destruction, and judgment. Thus saith the Bible, thus saith the Holy Scriptures. All praises due to Yahawashi. I just want to put out a few scriptures for encouragement for brothers out there. We be going through some things, and just some encouragement here. Ecclesiastes 7th chapter, says a good name is better than precious ointment, and a day of death than the day of one's birth. You get back into the spiritual realm, man. Things this earth is hell, man. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So we have to keep our mind on spiritual things. It says it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. It says sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. You go through things that build you up. You get broken down, but you get built back up. All right? The Lord will build you back up when you broke down. That's why he wants a contrite heart. He don't want you he don't want you puffed up and proud, and the Lord hates a proud look. It's pride that always brings a man down anyway. Stay humble and lowly. I always stress that. It says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. The heart of the wise, man, he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. The wise it takes a lot to be wise, great responsibility also. But it takes a lot to be wise, especially in a world full of, just ignorant, stupid people, man. Let's just be honest. Majority of these people that you see are fools, man. That's why they're happy. There's that saying that ignorance is bliss. There's a reason why they're happy. They're too stupid to understand what's going on. They don't know that their destruction is near. They don't know. It's just like in the days of Noah. They were laughing and drinking and getting married, scorning, mocking Noah. Noah was steady building, man. They had no idea until the flood came. And so it will be in these last days. All right? It says, 6th verse here, it says, for as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. That's, I got to a point, man, I can't trip off of people laughing at me. People laugh at me, they look at me, I get on the train, for whatever reason, people just look at me. It could be like hundreds of people on there and they just single me out because it's something, there's a spirit, there's an energy there, the spirit, Yahawashi, Lord willing, working with me. And they can just see that I'm different from everybody else. Not to puff myself up, I'm just saying, at least I'm trying, you know what I mean? Trying not to be a wicked nigga. and they can feel that, For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. It doesn't mean anything. There's no substance. It's vain. Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Oppression maketh a wise man mad. And that's what you get from these wacky-tacky Christians. I get this all the time. How can you be a man of the Lord and you angry, you say a curse word? They don't understand the scriptures, man. They think you're supposed to sing, dance, shout, foam at the mouth, do cartwheels and shit. Excuse my language. Do cartwheels and backflips. You know what I mean? Do the moonwalk on top of the pews. You know what I mean? Like they think that that's being holy. They think that that's their ticket to salvation. Doing a James Brown. Falling out and fainting. They think that that's the spirit. That's not the spirit. They don't know the scriptures. You have to remember that. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Well, why aren't they mad? They're not mad because they're not wise. They don't have no wisdom. Like I said, he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. We are sorrowful in this thing. Number one, because we know if you understand and believe in reincarnation, you understand that we messed up. And this is our punishment. This is a prison sentence. This is a prison sentence, man. That's why we want to get the hell up out of here. We want to get bailed out, man. We want to get released. We can't wait until our time is up. We're not sitting here going, build back better. The hell with that, man. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. And I was just saying that, man. The Lord hates the proud look. He hates that. And I've seen people in my lifetime. That's why I refuse to get proud. I've seen people in my lifetime be puffed up. They're this and they're that. Especially these niggas in the Kemet community. The so-called conscious community. They're proud. They call themselves God. They talk trash about the Most High. They blaspheme. They say all kinds of things, man. And they're proud. They don't understand their pride. It was that saying, the pride comes before the fall. Yeah, man. It says, be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. And see, that's another thing, right? Anger can overtake you also. See, there's a balance in things. And that this way that the Christians err, not knowing the scriptures, they'll read that and don't understand what they read just 2 verses above that. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. It says, but then you drop down to the 9th verse. It says, be not hasty in thy spirit, and be not hasty in our spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. So yeah, we're mad, but we can't allow that anger to overtake us and go out there and do something stupid. Right? This is why you have to, the spirit of Yahawashi has to be working with you so that you can understand what you're reading. Right? False balance is an abomination. You know, there's a time and place for everything. And so yeah, we're mad. You know, our wisdom and the knowledge that we gain has made us sorrowful, and we're angry, we're mad, but at the same time, that anger cannot overtake you. You can't allow that anger to overtake you, and you just go out there and do something stupid. You know, that's why, you know, I can't get with these Israelite groups that are walking around talking about grabbing up arms to go fight Esau. You know, you niggas is crazy, man. You gonna get a lot of people killed. We're spiritual men. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, man. You know, say not thou what is the cause that the former days were better than these, for thou doest not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth light to them that have it. Consider the work of the Most High Power. For who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? In a day of prosperity be joyful, but in a day of adversity consider. So that's why you go through things, man. You know, that's the time to consider and reflect when you're going through things. The Most High Power, Yahweh, also have set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Yeah. You know, don't get to that again. Again, this is constant. The Most High is consistent. You know, be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? Right, and that goes back to what I was saying before, and you know, I'll kind of leave it there. You know, don't go out there and do something stupid. You know, be wise. You have to be wise. You have to use your wisdom. The Lord bless you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You have to use it. Utilize it, man. You know, you got to pick and choose your points, your times, you know what I mean, to do certain things. You know, it might not be expedient to do certain things at certain times. And you got to think about that. Think about what you're doing. You know, you don't just do something. You know, sometimes you might say, oh, it's not in the law that you can't do this or that. But, okay, but still use wisdom, you know. Wisdom is key, man. Wisdom is key. And it's very important that you use that wisdom, because within that also comes patience, faith, you know, understanding, because you're going to need it. Those are your weapons, man. Those are your weapons. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, right? This is a spiritual battle, man. You know, we die daily. You know, this is a spiritual battle. This is not about being it's not about trying to even make it in this society, man. We thank the Lord for our daily bread and for shelter, and that's what we, just stay in that humble spirit and understand that there's a balance. The Lord wants a just balance. All right. Just keep that in mind, brothers. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.